was a SEAL for 25 years. So I put about 4,000 guys through training. We have 2 weeks to turn somebody who's never touched a handgun into someone who knows what they're doing with a rifle and a handgun at the same time. You had guys that could shoot and guys that couldn't shoot. You look out there, there's a whole lot of bad information. A lot of instructors, I find, they like to treat symptoms and I like to treat causes. With the time that we spent developing the curriculum there, everybody can shoot. I'm gonna teach you how to figure out which eye's dominant. I'll teach you how to shoot with 2 eyes open, because in a stressful situation, you're gonna be, both your eyes are gonna be wide open and you're gonna be focused on the threat. You fix somebody's stance, grip, and their trigger squeeze. You can't really build, building on top of crappy foundation, right? So the fundamentals are the fundamentals, and we hammer those home. I can chase, the things that you're doing all day long, or I can just fix your problem at the root. You're not holding your hands together. Your wrist is weak, and that's why you're, feels like this hand's popping forward. It's not popping forward. Why is that important? Well, because if your grip breaks, it takes longer to find the sights again. If everything is done right, those sights just snap right back on target with your rifle or pistol. Focus on the fundamentals. I'm going to teach you from the self-defense standpoint, but then you can take those if you want to do competitions or sport shooting. It's always the same, right? We shoot a lot of steel because for self-defense shooting, you're not trying to stack one bullet on top of another. You're trying to get that acceptable sight picture in an appropriate amount of time and effectively squeeze off a shot. Everything that I'm teaching, I have a reason for. I can give you the why behind the what, and that actually helps the what stick. Some people squeeze the trigger as fast as they can and throw a bunch of dirt around. The problem with guns is they're easy to shoot. They're ergonomic, and they're just it's so easy that you can actually get pretty good with a screwed up technique, but you'll never be as good as you could be if you clean those things up. This is why we do it, and I'll show you why. You go, oh, okay, that makes sense. We'll just shoot this white one.
Okay.
Just come on over here. Before we load it up, just send the slide forward and let's talk about your stance and your grip real quick. Oh, good God, you're left-handed. We go slow and to everybody's pace. We'll start off at fairly close range. I think we don't shoot steel with 9mm closer than 10 or 15 yards. And then we'll move back a little bit, stance, grip, weight distribution. You can just say, okay, get an athletic stance or get kind of like this. I'm like, no, you can stand just like this. And I'm like, well, stance doesn't matter in a gunfight because you're going to be moving. Okay, but I can't teach you to move and shoot until I teach you to shoot. So the stance I'm going to give you, the only thing that changes when you start moving is you're walking. So you're standing like this.
Yep.
Okay, and your natural point of aim is off the center of your body. So where's your natural point of aim right now?
Yeah.
It's over there. Yeah. So you'll find when you're shooting under recoil, the gun wants to go to your natural point of aim.
Yeah.
So
square it up.
Square it up. And so I'm going to start from your feet. Okay. Just, in fact, put the gun down for a second. We'll just go this. Because if you have a gun in your hand, you're thinking about the gun. Right. Right. One of the biggest things that I have to tell people over and over again, slow down. If you're screwing up, you're missing the target. What do you think you should do? Slow down. Give your brain a chance to realize what it's doing. All right. So shoulder width apart. Toes need to be pointing towards your target. Okay, and then whatever hand you're shooting with, that foot comes back about 6 inches. Try an experiment here, okay? Stand like this, put your toes out, toes forward, okay? Feel how your hips are.
Yeah.
Feel that?
Yeah.
There's all that looseness, right? Yeah. So just by pointing that toe, you're now locking your hips in and your shoulders follow your hips. Now, if you have that stance, you're not going to be recoiling into that void that you created. You want that slight lean forward. I want your shoulders are always going to be in front of your hips. Don't bring your head down. Bring the sights up to your eyes. Okay. Actively pull your shoulders down. Okay? Because traps, if you try and hang all that weight off your traps, you start getting little tremors like almost immediately. Your hands up like you're shooting. There you go. But don't move your head. Are you cross-eye dominant?
Left eye dominant.
Left eye. Okay.
Left eye.
We want to keep it like that. Gun comes up to your eyes. One of the things I'm big on is like people, if you line up those sights, sighted and weapon, obviously, you line up the sights, you squeeze the trigger without interrupting that sight picture, you're going to hit that target. The bolt's going to go right there. And think, oh, I'm a great shot. Yeah, you are one time. the most important shot is not the one you just launched. You can't fix that anymore. It's the next one. Let's get a good grip on there. This is big ass gap right here.
Yeah.
Give me this hand for a second, just take it off the gun. All right, so this one, you're not squeezing with the fingertips. You're trying to pull these knuckles straight back into the palm of your hand, okay? And then no gap up here, nice and high, okay? So this is front to back, and it's like meeting her dad for the first time handshake. That's kind of what, you know, the amount of pressure you want on here. Point your thumb, like if you're gonna poke somebody, like poke my hand. Okay, that's what we wanna do, is we wanna be in line like this. Just bring it up like this, boom. You're right in here like this. Got that?
Yep.
Okay, now this hand is in charge of side to side. Squeeze it as hard as you can until the sights start to move, like you know, okay, and then relax just a little bit until they stop moving. Okay. That's how much grip you want with that one. With this hand, I want you to be squishing this way and twisting this way, and now push back with this knuckle, bring that gun back to level. Feel what we're doing here? Yep. That's like you're wringing a towel, okay? That's what I want. That's gonna they'll put more grip on the gun without actually physically gripping the gun more. Now, this is key, because if this wrist, when the gun goes off, it's gonna do this. So that has to be tight, okay? We want this whole package here to recoil together. Right. If it doesn't, your grip's gonna break, right? So the way we're gonna do that is bend your elbows a little bit more. Okay, yeah, just bring them down, you know, yeah, they just like that. Gun does this, we want the shock to be absorbed here, not here. So now if I watch you and I watch this come apart, because what happens is this is loose, so that breaks a little bit, and then you'll just start gripping with this thumb, and you'll just push this thing, and every time you come back on those sights, they'll be in a different place.
Driving it away.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere else. How many times you gotta shoot a threat? As many as it takes, right? So I want you to have that next shot available in the shortest amount of time possible. We're gonna practice the squeeze here. So put your finger on the trigger and take the slack out. Okay, so feel that wall? Yep. Okay, so that's where we're gonna shoot from. So you can get there as fast as you want. Boom. Now we're gonna go slow here, so I want you to, it's not pinning the trigger, okay, just for a demo, right? So squeeze the trigger till it goes bang. Okay, the gun's gonna cycle, and then just let up on there until you feel it click, and then take that slack out again. There you go. Okay, so load that sucker up. Okay, in fact, let me load mine up too. Now, try and keep your head up and just bring the sights up to your eyes. And when you get out there and you get to that point, okay, now just bring it up. Okay, if the sights aren't perfectly on there, I want you to adjust your hand while you're looking at it so they are. Look what's going on here.
I'm opening up.
You've got no connection between these hands. So what that does, that opens up and it gives the recoil a place to go. Okay, so all you're gonna do, bring the gun up here like this. Now bring this hand, just slide it straight back until it's there. Like they fit together like puzzle pieces, right? And then your pressure is like this. So this one should be pushing this way. This one pushes back with the base of the thumb. It's probably the most important thing is how you grip that gun. Resetting that trigger, getting your sights back on, and being ready, slack out, ready to shoot again. Okay. Yeah. Everyone got it?
That one went right.
Now when you bring it back here to the ready position, don't loosen up like this and leave a gap. You're still here, locked in. Keep it locked in. Yeah. All right. And as you present it, as soon as you see that sight, and get up there on it. You can shoot them 5 times. You notice that the shock is being absorbed here. If you feel like you're going fast, you're rushing. Okay. If you're just going through and going as smooth as you can and just doing it the same way every time, those neural pathways are going to insulate it, and you're just going to be moving faster without trying. Slow down, observe everything, give your brain a chance to figure it out. Yo. That was much better. Look how much that stayed together that time. You want to keep your head up and bring the sights to your eyes always. Whether it's a rifle, pistol, doesn't matter, because you're used to walking around with your head up. So bring it up here. I blame Hollywood because this looks like I'm shooting, right? Some director was like, oh yeah, do that. Yeah. And so people see that over and over, think that's what they're doing. You know, I can take somebody who's been shooting for a while, maybe doing competitions. I'm like, yeah, there's a hole in your grip, man. Try it like this. And I'm like, oh man, look, the sight snapped right back on target. He's not searching for him anymore. Just using reflexes and body geometry to your advantage as opposed to fighting against them. Shoot it, see the sights come back on, shoot it, you know, and kind of work that, you know, resetting the trigger during the recoil cycle. With steel, it gives you that immediate feedback. Like, you know, ding, okay, whatever you did, you just told your subconscious, that was effective, do that again. At any level, it always helps to have somebody look at you and be like, okay, that looks good. You're hitting. Awesome. If I can't help you, I can't help you. But everybody who's come out here so far has gone away with, oh, wow, okay, this is what I'm going to work on.
Yeah.
And they'll get better. The guys took me out to shoot some of their fine Smith Wesson products, and one of the guys brought along his AR-15, and he was all screwed up, you know, and he's like, Coach, how am I doing? I'm like, well, he's like, no, be brutal. I'm like, all right. Boom, and I tore him down and put him back together, and in 15 minutes, I had him to where he could just kind of pop it up, red dot, and he was like, oh my God, that's so easy. I'm like, yeah, it's not hard. None of what I'm teaching is hard. It's just you have to know the right way. He just happened to be walking the halls, ran into the CEO, and the CEO mentioned that they were bringing back the academy, and he was like, I know the guy you need to run this. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. It's just set up with stuff that you'll find in the wild, you know, so that when you recognize that, oh, that's how I deal with a, you know, inward opening left hand, you know, fed door, row. We didn't do catwalks, because catwalks, if you run around eye ready like you should be, you're pointing at the guys up there. So it's a training scar. Oh, got to keep it down. No, that's not a good idea in close quarters, because you can get that pinned to you really quick. So the cameras up there are wide angle. You can see everything in there. Plus the debrief, you could say, okay, you did this. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. You know, and you know how that goes. And then up here, that's your hallway. Plenty of little hidey holes for people to pop out and shoot at you. You know, and might happen in real life. So how are you going to deal with that? Okay, now we got wide hallways here. We got a little tight, you know, like funnel. Well, more of a trailer hallway. You know, one person deep. You know, but yeah, you know how you deal with a hallway. And so you got more cameras up here. And you can also, there's enough room in here to fly drones around. We've done that.
Wow.
But, yeah. And then this is the outside staircase. So you can access the building from up here. The SWAT guys did a breach on this door and overloaded it just a little bit. Immediately bent the the siding a little, but explosive breaching will do that. But I think it just gives it character. Yeah. It's a training facility, right? You know, I don't need to keep it, yeah, pristine. A couple stars in the wall ain't gonna hurt. The windows, so some of them have windows, so you can. This would be like a glass window because you can shoot sim through it, okay. Right? Yeah. But if you put glass in there, that's like bulletproof glass because sim ain't going through.
Right.
Or you can paper this over, and rounds can come through the wall. Whoever's being trained, you want them to win.
Right.
Okay. So you set up a scenario with role players. Otherwise it turns into paintball, because you can't like, oh, okay, I got shot, I would fall down. Would you? You got to stay in the damn fight until, you know, your lights are out, right? And you can't go, oh, it hurts, so I'm just gonna, if you train that way, guess what you're gonna do? Even in real life. We get a mix every class. They don't want to admit that they don't know everything. You know, just come on out. I mean, we leave your ego in the car. You know, we're going to come out and we're going to do some shooting, and, you know, I'll show you a few things and, you know, take on board what you want to take on board. That's probably the biggest thing. It's just getting over that hump and realizing that, oh yeah, I need to be better at this. There's no filter for like, okay, we're having an LE class. No, I got reserve cops. I've got military folks. I've got, you know, grandma that just wants to learn how to shoot because she's now alone or whatever and wants to feel more secure. There was a lot of bad information out there, so we tried to give the good information. And I read all the comments, And, 95% of them were positive. Hey, I tried that technique and it worked. I'm like, yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
So you can learn how to shoot from a YouTube video, but you can learn faster if you come learn from me and I can put my hands on you. Okay, gap opening up a little bit there. How strong are your fundamentals? I keep pushing those because that's what's going to make you better. You learn the fundamentals good. It's so much more fun to hit a target when you shoot at it, right? Or to harvest that deer with one shot. These are all things that they're not hard. You just got to know. Look at that shit, huh?
Yeah. Right.
There you go. Here ended the lesson.
We did some work today. Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Easy day, right?
Yeah.
Said none of this is hard. All right, we're going to call range cold.
All right.